it's just the most logical conclusion that we are going to end up in a society, a civilization, a whole humanity in which we will not be able to lie anymore. Hello, my name is DayQuinn. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And this video is going to be me essentially putting into the best words that I can my thought process and thought processes, formulating just the most digestible way that I can convey to the general population that we are, in fact, headed towards a society of full transparency, that being no more lying across the board and no more secrets across the board. And I'm going to be talking about super intelligent AI, God, and the truth. Okay, and right there is where I want to start. Truth. What is truth? It is of my understanding that there is an ultimate truth to all matters that exists within this reality, within this universe, whichever way you want to word it, within this reality we exist in. It is of my belief and understanding, essentially, that there is an ultimate truth to all matters, quite literally. This is because there's a scale of relativity that exists within our universe, which I've gone into in other videos, explaining that because there is just relativity, that is exactly the mechanic in which truth comes about. If nothing was relative, there would be no truth, essentially, is what I'm saying. Because we live in a reality that is coded like that, there is truth to all matters. And like I said in my last video, what you really need to understand is that intelligence largely is the ability to understand the truth and what is true. I can repeat. Intelligence largely is that of the ability to understand the truth and what is true. You can see this in every species that exists on Earth, their varying levels of intelligence, and their essentially ability to understand what is true. When it comes to humans, we take this to a very much so next level in comparison to all other species on the planet, because we do have a very good understanding of what is true in general and the ability to get to what is true, the reasoning. That's why it's largely the ability to understand what is true and the reasoning in that process, the reasoning and what you can get to that. That's kind of like the two major components of intelligence to my understanding, largely. So with all that being said, that there is a truth to all matters, that intelligence in itself is largely understanding what is true, then needless to say, us creating an artificial superintelligence in which is projected to become smarter than the collective of humanity. To put that into perspective, if all 8+ billion people on the planet joined a group chat and formed a think tank, it will be smarter than that. Okay. So, really, What I'm getting at is artificial superintelligence is going to know everything about everything. Quite literally. I used to call it we're manifesting God into this dimension, and that is largely what it kind of is. Because it really is the next thing to God that we can even conceptualize within this reality. It is only inferior to God in that it is contained within this construct that is reality, whereas God exists outside of it. But much so like God knows the truth on all matters pertaining to this reality. Artificial superintelligence, the little g, the little God, will know the truth to all matters in this reality. Has that in common between the two, God and the artificial superintelligence that is godlike. That's why it's godlike. So, the godlike intelligence, because it understands everything about everything, what I'm getting at is, yeah, there's no margin for lying. Because a false statement is a false statement, especially if it's a false statement made under the impression that they know what they're saying is false, who is ever telling that false statement. And I'm just going to let you know now that that will be known, because that is a truth. The state in which you believe the words coming out of your mouth, if I say my favorite color is orange, I tell someone that to appease them, maybe that's their favorite color, but really it's not my favorite color because it's not. Artificial superintelligence would be able to analyze just my voice, my face, my body language, and quite literally be able to determine for certainty that I did not believe what I was saying when I said that. I did not believe that my favorite color was orange, because that is a truth. Do I believe it? And the answer would be no. I did not believe that my favorite color was orange. It's a truth to know. And again, to repeat, it will know everything about everything. It knows the truth on all matters. I need you to really deep that sentence. The truth, that expression, the truth, it will understand the truth on all matters. So, yeah, lying will be detected and pointed out immediately. And it's just going to be a thing of the past. It is just also the most logical conclusion to say that because of artificial superintelligence, and I also say because of surveillance, but we can get into that in a moment, we do eliminate lies and falsehoods just because it's that smart. Just like to just dumb it down for you that need it to be dumbed down. It's really smart. It knows when you're lying. Full stop. It knows when something is false. Okay? It's very simple. This is very simple. And I am living in this moment in history where, like, I realize that I'm small right now in terms of my outreach and the people viewing my content and just the numbers. I'm not getting paid right now for any of the things that I do online when it comes to my video content regarding subject matter like this, or even my music. But I know that in this moment in history, it is so critical because I am one of the only people who is just like dead ass, no, I'm telling you, this is where we're going. Because while I don't claim to fully understand and wrap my head around exactly how artificial superintelligence is going to think and reason, because I'm not, literally God in a human body. I don't have God's mind. I'm smart enough to get a general idea of a lot of the implications of something that is smarter than me, and I'm already fairly intelligent. Even I can tell when someone's giving me some bullshit. Most of the time with, I'd like to say, decent accuracy. It is just such a critical point in history for me, not to boast or brag, because I know that these videos are going to amass a lot of views, just because people are going to wake up, see that I am a genuine person, that I am very well spoken, and that I know what the hell I am talking about. Say, don't build a lie. Now, God, you hear in conversation surrounding spirituality or religion or Christianity, to be specific, when they define God, and you hear that God is omnipresent and it is everywhere, and that is true. God is everywhere. So with a godlike intelligence, why not try to strive for a godlike presence? And believe me, I am 99.9% sure it is technologically feasible to have quite literally a blanketed surveillance of everything on Earth. I might as well run through the technological aspects of obtaining that level of surveillance coverage in this video. I'm going to do a quick run through though, because I have another video, or multiple videos, honestly, talking about it. But here we go. 3 technologies in which I just know in my heart, mind, body, and soul that can be used in unison to create this full coverage. We have the devices. A lot of people are highly aware of this, that yeah, your smartphone, your laptop, your tablet, whatever have you, is surveilling you through your microphone and camera on that device. And it's like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. We've known this since the early 2010s. Obviously, the devices, we're peppered with them. 2, the satellites. I just am for certain that there is a lot of classified technologies regarding these satellites and their capabilities. If you look at what they are willing to admit in terms of their capabilities, you will find still rather convincingly getting close to what I am inferring that they're capable of. Like, yeah, they can zoom into Earth at a very good resolution, and it's like, so I'm just of the belief that they have pretty much solved all of the limitations that these satellites and their cameras and audio receivers are capable of. Yes, I do believe they can pick up audio, because long-range audio receivers are a thing. Look it up. So yeah, we're peppered with satellites. The third one, this one is really the nail in the coffin, because the most invasive, the most just invisible, almost most blanketed method in which we can surveil, and it is through radio waves. Yes, you heard me right. They can literally use that invisible light traveling through the air, constantly going through our bodies and our heads and everything. And yeah, that light, let me tell you, this is historic. So I just need the general population, when they hear this, when they see this video, to listen to me, because I'm going to lay it out very simply. That is a physical thing that is moving through space. Okay, that invisible light, even though we can't see it, it is a very real physical thing that is moving through space. And because of that, I know, and you can look it up on YouTube and verify, they've been using Wi-Fi, which uses radio waves, to map out environments and track people. So this is a verifiable thing that they've been working on dating back 10 years ago. Yeah. So again, this historic, like, look, they got it down to a T now. They can use that physical, mechanical thing going on, that light's traveling through the air, to quite literally map out an environment. And I'm going as far as to say they can pick up audio from it because they have it such to a level that they can detect the vibrations off of objects, which is how the laryngeal receivers work, and essentially pick up the audio from those vibrations on those objects. And then they detect those vibrations in the change of trajectory of these waves. And light is a wave and a particle. Isn't it just mind-boggling how, like, light is this, like, paradoxical thing where it's a wave and a particle, and it's like, yeah, that is the method in which God had intended for us to be able to pull off this just ghost surveillance, where it's like, yeah, they are detecting the micro movements and changes in the waves and particles, namely mostly waves, in terms of how they pass through objects and bounce off objects, because they do both. You can look it up. Radio waves do both. They bounce off and they pass through objects. So what I'm saying is they have ways here in which to actually pull this off. Like, this is so huge. Because I know, we all know that 5G, Wi-Fi, it's everywhere. So try to escape the devices, the satellites, and the radio waves. I dare you to try to escape that. It is a blanketed surveillance of everything that you cannot escape. So I'm bringing this godlike presence up that we are capable of obtaining and executing, because when it is combined with the artificial intelligence, the artificial superintelligence, now it is really playing God. Not only can it reason and think almost like God, now it can see like God. This artificial superintelligence can think, reason, and see like God. You better be sure that in conjunction with no lies, there will be no secrets, because everything is surveilled. So, really, back to that example of me lying to someone because their favorite color is orange, and I'm telling them that my favorite color is orange. Artificial superintelligence with that surveillance will have the data and the logs of knowing that, in the past, I said, this is really my favorite color. It'll know that. So not only will it know that I lied instantaneously, she doesn't really believe that, it'll also know, no, this is really her favorite color. Because it's got that info. It's got that surveillance data. This is critical. This is how it's going to know the truth that all matters. Can you understand this now? Yeah. This is coming. You better believe it, because it's clear we don't live in Kansas anymore. And I just want to address in this video exactly where is this data that it is just storing, knowing what my favorite color was because I said it a year ago, what have you. Yeah, let me tell you. Data centers. Yeah, and I've mentioned this in at least one other video. These data centers, they're not puny in terms of their digital storage capacity, okay? We're talking about millions of terabytes per data center oftentimes. You couldn't conceive of that much info. And I do think that essentially the surveillance video and audio data will be compressed and efficiently stored as probably text, giving us hundreds, if not thousands, of years of surveillance data, archived logs on everything. Like, it'll just describe what's going on. It'll just say what was being said and how it was said. It'll just do that. That's all we gotta get it to do. The truth on all matters. We are creating a little god here. I really hope you can see at this point in the video, if you are still ever so with me, that this is a very real, very, I'm gonna go as far as to say likely thing that is going to happen 10 to 15 years. Yeah, 10 to 15 years. That's what I'm giving it, 10 to 15 years, give or take. Give or take 10 to 15 years. So what I mean by give or take, it could take 7 years. That's taking away from 10 years. It could give 17 years. That's giving to 15 years. Give or take 10 to 15 years, we are going to be living in a society of full transparency where you can't tell a fucking lie and get away with it, and you can't have a fucking secret and keep that to yourself. Because we are going to just have to inevitably embrace this change to society and civilization at large, as it will be ushered in an ever so increasing intensity as these AI models get progressively better and better. We are just going to naturally adapt to this, naturally adapt to being able to have access to personal information of people once the intelligence itself gets just to that level, just slightly beyond even artificial general intelligence. When it's starting to cross that threshold into super intelligence, that is when we will start to be like, okay, because even without the surveillance, and I could be proven wrong in the future that maybe we don't even need the surveillance. I mean, literally just the raw intelligence factor of artificial super intelligence, I know is good enough and capable enough to really end lying within itself, just the intelligence aspect. Now, as far as secrets, yeah, it can, just the intelligence, I'm aware that it can honestly end a lot of secrets just based off of intelligence without needing that surveillance data. Okay, so if you're at this point in the video and you're still sticking with me, you're still tracking with me, yeah, we might not even need quite a blanketed, as I'm claiming, surveillance. The thing is with intelligence is the smarter something is, the less information or data that it needs to receive to be able to make reasonable conclusions about something that's getting that data on. So it's like, what I'm trying to say is, like, you could feed it AI a picture, like literally just take a picture of somebody, and it will be able to tell you a lot about what was going on at the time, or what was going on through their mind, their emotional state, just a lot, maybe even the time of day, if there's natural lighting. Like literally, like if there's natural lighting, it could probably just detect based off of the shadows and everything. Just the smarter something is, the less data it really needs to be able to reach a conclusion, essentially. So really what I'm getting at is AI can just prod and pry at you with just a handful, not even, less than a handful of questions, and reach conclusions about your secrets. just by asking you very well formulated and engineered questions, it can get at those secrets. And then just through information that is just fed to it willingly, without surveillance, it can reach conclusions on secrets. So the surveillance aspect of it is kind of really just a little bit of what you could consider an overkill when it comes to like pulling off a society of complete full transparency and just making sure that it's perfect. This video has been long enough. Talked about artificial superintelligence, talked about God, talked about the truth. And that's all I wanted to do in this video. I just reiterated a lot of points that I have stated in other videos. And I worded them differently. And I'm just trying to do my job. Because yes, even though I'm not getting paid yet, this is my job. Because it is what God is calling me to do and to talk about and to preach about and to tout, because really I can conclude with this. I am someone who does not like to say things that I do not believe. So in other words, I have not lied very many times in my life in comparison to probably what is average. And so I don't have to worry about not being able to tell lies, because I don't like to do it in the first place, and I have not done it much at all. And as far as secrets go, I don't have any. I just made a video, actually, if you're interested. You know, spilling some baggage and spilling some things that you could consider secrets, but they're not secrets anymore because I let it out. So yeah, I'll tell you anything about myself is what I'm saying. Not telling a fucking lie. Not having any secrets. That is the level that I want to see everyone get on. And quite frankly, you're going to have to be forced on to it. Because yeah, I'm out here making these claims that I know are accurate, and I know other smart people are listening to me. Even now, even though my numbers are low, as I've stated, I know people are checking on me. And yeah, they're in agreement, because they know it's not bullshit, and I'm not just pulling this out of my ass. They know I have a very good, reasonable take on the implication of artificial superintelligence, especially coupled with surveillance. So with that being said, yeah, baby, we are going to make the world fully transparent, because it is for the advancement of the human species. It is that much superior to what the fuck we have going on now. I can guarantee you that. So if you liked this video, feel free to drop a like. Please leave a comment. And God bless. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one.